There we go. Hello, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Mommy tries to read here, and Daddy doesn't read very much over there.
Yeah, sometimes.
Becky and Sebastian.
When it counts.
When it counts. So I don't know what's going on with our lighting. Apparently isn't great. Anyways, I was watching another video by...
Lala?
No. Good guess, though.
I know it's one of those YouTubers you watch. ProZD.
Stop.
Video Game Donkey.
Stop it.
Okay.
I can't think of
Yeah,
it.
some shoutouts.
Plots with a Twist. And they did the Would You Rather book tag. And I was like, hey, this one's like generic enough that we can both answer the questions. Like, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be like about this one specific book or not. So I thought it'd be fun. So I found they linked the Pinterest link to where they found this tag from. And it actually, what you're supposed to do is you answer the questions of the person, like whatever person tagged you, and then you add your own questions to it. So there's like 2 sets of questions. So one set they did not do on the Plots with a Twist, but we're going to do both sets. So you ready? I haven't read all these ones yet.
Okay, I don't even know what you're asking me, so...
Yeah, I know. So you ready for this? You're going to answer first.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm not ready for this.
Would you rather sit in a cafe and read, or in your own little reading nook? And I guess...
Cafe and read. There's something about a cafe that I like it. You can sit down, you can get whatever drink you feel like.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of enjoy the atmosphere. There's always like quiet music. As long as it's not like a super busy cafe. Like if it's super busy, then just give me my nook. Be better.
Just like swimming around in the water.
Your cup isn't quite water fish ready.
He's in there. Oh, I scared all the fish. I just set up my reading nook over there. You can't see it. But I would agree, like, with the cafe, you have, like, a different kind of ambiance, and you get whatever drink and snack and stuff like that, but I find it noisy. Like, the littlest amount of music, if the music has lyrics in it, it distracts me. There's people talking is distracting, stuff like that. So maybe I need some head-canceling headphones. Noise-canceling headphones. This is annoying.
I think when I think coffee shop, I don't think, like, Tim's. I think that's more fast food now.
Yeah, but even
and
Starbucks
that gets busy and noisy. I think like small coffee shop.
They still play music though.
Yeah.
Why are y'all playing so much music? I'm not there to listen to your music. I guess if I have like noise canceling headphones, I'd like the cafe. And it also, I feel like when I go somewhere, like when I was writing my book, if I went to the library, then I sat down and actually like concentrated on writing my book because I went out of my way to go there, where if it's just at home, I'm like, I can do it later. But reading, because I set up my nice new reading nook, I think I like that though. Okay, you gotta pick one. So you picked cafe. I'm gonna pick my nook. I still like cafe. Would you rather spoil the book by reading the climax of a book first or the last 2 chapters?
Ooh, neither.
Right?
I hate spoil. Like,
I hate spoilers.
Even when it comes to like video game announcements, like I don't like, as much as I like the sizzle reels and stuff, I don't like them because they always spoil like something of it. Even like a character's design, I enjoy like that spoil. Like I don't like that spoiled either.
It's like when you go. It's like when you see a movie trailer and all the funny parts are in the trailer.
Yeah.
And then you go see the movie, you're like, well, that was stupid.
I guess if I had to pick a spoiler, it would be the climax, and I only say that because the last 2 chapters is usually when everything comes together.
Yeah.
And usually that's when the big punch of the book comes in, right? Like I would say like 1984 was a good example of that. Like the big punch was the last 2 chapters. Like that's when the whole ton of bricks comes and hits you. Mm-hmm. Right? That's really good. But the climax of that book is still good, but not nearly as good as the ending. Like the ending was like what brought it all together.
I was thinking the same thing, like in a sense, like
and cut.
No, I was thinking too, like the end of the book could like really ruin it. When you read the climax, you don't necessarily know exactly how it ended. Like the book I just read, that one I was telling you about, I was really annoyed with. Truly Madly Guiltily. The climax of the book was like there was still like a fifth of the book left, and you didn't know how it ended just after reading the climax. So I think I'd rather read the climax. and leave the last 2 chapters because you still don't know necessarily how it ends. Unless the climax and the last 2 chapters are the same thing.
Probably not.
He's currently reading Thunderhead. I'm so excited.
It's good stuff.
Would you rather travel with and read a 700 plus page hardback book or on a slow to function phone app? Not ebook or tablet, but your phone app.
Phone app, or what was the first one?
Would you rather travel, so you're lugging around a 700 plus page hardcover book, or read that giant book on a slow to function phone app? Hardback.
Yeah, probably hardback.
Screw it, I'll pay for the extra baggage weight.
Well,
I don't like reading a book on my fully functioning app.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind
my
it.
Tablet. Or
I don't mind it, but if it goes too slow and I'm like getting really into the book, it like brings the book to a screeching halt, and I don't like that.
I'd rather carry around the hardback.
Hardback.
I'd be too annoyed with my phone. If it was like not a slow moving e-reader, but if I had my Kobo, that would be okay. Like, I don't mind reading on my Kobo, but I don't like reading on my phone. Would you rather live in your last book for 2 years or stay in a night in the Hotel of the Shining for 2 nights? I'd be living. I've
like
never
haunted.
read or watched The Shining, but I am living in my last book. Screw it.
I've also never seen. That's like the cult classic. I still have to watch. I haven't seen it, but I know it's supposed to be like haunted or something like that.
Isn't that the one with the twins?
Yeah.
And the blood?
Like they're like, let's play it. Yeah.
No, I think so. I'm gonna live in my truly
down the
madly
hallway and they're like big. No.
Truly madly guiltily.
Yeah, sorry, it's just twins down the hallway. It's a kid on a big wheel that sees them.
Oh, the tricycle thing.
Yeah,
or whatever.
he's like riding the big wheel and he's going down the hallways and then he sees these 2 kids at the end of the hall. And they say, "Do you want to play with us?"
So the last book you are currently reading, Thunderhead.
What did I read before that? I was reading that one about metal.
Stuck in 1984.
Well, I was reading that one about like different metal things, like you burn metal as you eat it. Like you eat it and it burns metal. What's it called? It's a book
like a manga?
Cal bought me. No.
Oh, like a book,
me.
though. Not.
Do you remember what it's called? It's also a famous book. It's also supposed to be really good. It's
Sorry,
called Metal Mancy or something like that. Think of like magic, but magic is all based on different types of metals. Right? You eat metal. And then
I should be doing this book tag with Cal. Cal, come back. We need you. Cal's a friend of ours. He moved to the other side of the country. And we live in a big country. It's not like a 5-hour drive away. He moved far away and we're sad and we miss him. And he's a reader. Like, he reads a lot.
He reads lots.
He doesn't necessarily read the same kind of books I read. He reads more fantasy, sci-fi stuff, but...
I would like to live in the world of the Thunderhead because that's basically utopia. So I'm down for the utopias.
Because even if you got gleaned, I mean, we live with death now, so...
Yep. Yeah, but... Like in that book, most people live a few lifetimes before they get gleaned.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but most people. Right, so by the time I get gleaned, again, not everybody. I could get gleaned at like 10 years old on my first lifetime. But this sounds like on average, most people have lived a few lives before they get gleaned. Yeah, totally.
I don't care what book I'm in. I'm not staying with The Shining.
Google can run my whole life in the future, apparently. That's the Thunderhead.
Google's the Thunderhead. Listening. Rylan was trying to ask Google.
Well, this will be in Google's thing.
I know.
You put it to YouTube, it's Google's.
Rylan was trying to ask Google something about a wire. And it's like, are you trying to ask me if Google Home is a wiretap? And he's like, yes! So you know Google's getting this question. And he said yes. And Google's like... Or is Google listening to me or something like that to all my conversations all the time? And it's like, Google's not always listening to you. It just listens in snippets for the hot words.
Say the hot words, yeah.
And then if you say the hot words, then it records it. But if you don't say the hot words, that stuff never gets recorded. But I was like, you know people are asking and searching this because my 5-year-old managed to pop that up.
I know people who say that. Like, they're recording everything. I'm like, no, they're not. Be like terabytes upon terabytes upon terabytes of like useless data. They're not recording it.
Google's gonna be the Thunderhead one day. Would you rather have a bookish box with only goodies but no book, or a book box with only books and nothing else?
Boxish book.
A bookish box.
Yeah, a bookish box or a bookish book.
Yeah. So would you rather have a bookish box with only goodies but no book, or a book box with only books and nothing else?
Goodies, I guess.
Do you get books somewhere else? Because if I have a bookshelf...
Libraries.
Well, I know that, but that's what I'm wondering. Like, do I have access to a library? Do I have access to my bookshelf?
I would say yes, but it's just like, you can get this gift where it's just books, or it's just goodies for books.
Like a book box, like a subscription box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because usually they come with like a little bit of both. They're usually themed.
Ooh.
Right, so they're saying, do you want just the goodies or just the books?
In my house. I was just filled with stuff, and I was like, well, I put books in it then. No, like a subscription box? Ooh, that one's hard.
Yeah.
I think things, maybe.
I think things because...
It depends on the price of it,
those books are not always books you're going to want to read.
Yeah.
Right?
You can pick your
half
books.
of those books are going to be books you're like, I don't
We don't have Book of the Month here in Canada, so Book of the Month I know you can, like, pick. Whereas, they have, like, Book of the Month has, like, so many selections you can pick from, and then they just send you those books. Like 3 out of like 10 or whatever it is, but we don't have that in Canada, so I think I'd rather have the goodies.
Yeah, because you can just get whatever book from the library or buy or anywhere else.
Yeah. Thank you for. I'm glad that the non-bookish person clarified that question for us. Would you rather read only in first, second, or third POV for the next 2 years? So point of view.
I don't care. As long as the story is good, it doesn't really matter.
I think if I have to pick one, first person. What's first and what's second? What's third? Tell me. Give me a sentence.
I always forget what second is. Third person is like an off. Like there's a narrator narrating everything that's happening. Second person, I think, is
first person is like, I did this, I did that.
I think second person is you're following the story of a main character, but it's told from his friend's point of view.
Like The Great Gatsby.
I think so. Yeah, The Great Gatsby would be a good example. Because that's mostly about him. It is a little bit about the main guy, but it is mostly about The Great Gatsby, told from his buddy's point of view, so that would probably be a second.
I have to Google it.
I'm pretty sure. I
have to Thunderhead it. I'm going to start calling it Thunderhead now.
Pretty sure. But
I think first person. If I had to pick one.
I don't know, like I've read books that are good in both. I don't know. Yeah, probably first person. I think first person is usually more interesting. Because you get the surprises in the shot. Well, it doesn't really matter.
Would you rather live in a horror book taking place on a haunted lake or in a haunted woods? Right? Neither. We already talked about this with The Shining.
Lake, maybe? I know. Lake, maybe, just because it's more open. Forest has got way more hiding spots.
Yeah.
A lot easier to get caught off guard. A lake, it's a little bit more open, but then you have nowhere to run. Like, you see the lake, and you got a boat. Is it a motorboat? Is it going to run? Is the boat...
Like
Do you have like a paddle? Do you have a way to get onto the lake?
Or off the lake?
But if you're in a forest, I mean, everything is shrouded. So
every tree is a hiding spot.
If something's gonna kill you, you won't see it coming. At least
Blair Witch Project, that was the forest. No, thank you.
At least with the lake, for the most part, you could probably see it coming.
I can't remember if it was Are You Afraid of the Dark or Goosebumps, but there was one, and this monster traveled through the drains. And it could, like, come out of, like, the water fountain or the pool or whatever. That one freaked me out.
The stories are always so cheesy.
But when you're a kid, it's scary.
Yeah.
I guess a lake. I don't know. Lakes have the fog, too. Forests can have the fog, too, but I don't know.
Lakes usually have the fog. Well, that's what they're known for.
Me and you on the lake. Would you rather have your favorite book turned into a movie, show, game, like // or have your favorite movie, show, game turned into a book? I think I'd rather have my book turned into a game, movie, show thing.
I think so.
That's usually how it goes.
Scott Pilgrim's a good example of that. It got turned into a game afterwards and it was good.
Yeah.
But that medium was
Thunderhead? We played Thunderhead on the old
depends,
Nintendo.
Depends how they make that one. I want that into a movie. A good movie.
A TV series. A miniseries.
Yeah, maybe a miniseries. Something that could flesh it out longer.
Or like... so many seasons, like it's only gonna be 5 seasons or something. Like miniseries is usually only like 6 to 10 episodes.
Something that follows the book.
Yeah.
Just follows the book. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I think typically book to movie game and stuff like that is better. And not vice versa.
Yeah, I've read some that were movies and then I read the book and it was basically you were just reading the movie. Like it didn't add anything to it. But when you have a book that's turned into a movie, the book adds to the movie. Usually the book is better. But when it's a movie first, and they're just literally following it.
Yeah.
Then
usually
like,
just
well,
verbatim what the movie
point?
was. Yeah.
There was like a mom's night out or something. It was like Christian or whatever. I was like, oh, I'll read the book. But then I realized it was just an adaptation from the screenplay. What was that one we watched it? You watched it with me. Del Toro or something like that. In Spanish. The whole movie was in Spanish.
Oh, Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
That was a movie first. And I think the book did a really good job on that one. Because it like followed it, but it wasn't just like reading the screenplay. Like they did a really good job of adapting it.
That was a good...
Would you rather read a book with a very small font size or read a book with a normal text but in the dark?
Dark enough that you can read it, obviously. In the dark, there's no point in asking that question.
Yeah, you're just like...
Because then you can't read it. They're saying like you're squinting to see the words in the dark. Or you're squinting to see the words because they're small.
Yeah.
How do you want to strain your eyes?
Right? I think the...
Probably dark.
Dark.
I've done that a few times.
Yeah, because I've tried to read in the dark before. That's annoying though too, but I need to get new glasses.
The words are too small. I'll end up pinching it to try to get it bigger.
Yeah, you're like...
It won't work on pages. What am I supposed to do?
Stupid. Would you rather bring your last book to the real world or get dragged into the book's world/setting? So would you rather bring the book to life or you go into the book? My last book
that could be
was
a politically charged question.
Leanne Moriarty, Truly, Madly, Guiltily, but it took place in the real world. It took place in Australia with real people. There was no magic or fantasy or science fiction to it. It was just the real world. Like a tragic thing happened in it, but it happens like that stuff happens in real life. So.
I was thinking like the last book I read, actually there was an audiobook before this, but that's not really...
That's like leadership skills, right?
It's like a skills book.
So you want to bring that into your real life, though?
See?
See?
That's what I'm trying to do. But the last book I read before that, like Red, I think is probably 1984. Which, no.
Well, that's already in our real life.
And it's funny because that goes with the same thing. Utopia and dystopia. They're both... 1984 is a dystopian future. And Thunderhead has to do with the utopian future.
But is it?
I think so.
It's like The Giver. That's utopian. But is it?
Yeah, I guess.
Is it?
That one's debatably utopian.
So are you bringing the last book you read to life? We read 1984 in 2019. Just so you know. You had a whole other year of reading after that.
I've probably read another book since then. I don't keep track of it. I don't like write it down or nothing. I read mangas. I read some One Punch Man.
You listened
I don't want to be in that world, and I don't want that world to be in here.
Manga counts.
Okay, well, I don't want that world here, and I also don't want to be in that world.
Well, you gotta pick one. That's what would you rather is.
I don't know.
I want to go into my last book. Am I me or am I one of the characters? Anyways, I want to get dragged into the book's world setting because then I'll be in Australia. I don't want to bring Australia here. It's Canada. Just leave Canada the way it is, but... Well, to a point.
In that manga, they're dealing with, like, world-ending events on, like, a weekly basis.
Were you here in 2020?
Yeah, but we're talking, like, monsters that can, like, wipe entire cities out and stuff.
Are you here in 2020? Murder hornets?
Murder hornets, yeah.
Enough said.
I read some Dr. Stone, which is this world, but a few thousand years later after everyone's been turned to stone and the Earth has pretty much recaptured the world for the most part.
We read Ready Player One. When was that? That wasn't last year, was it? That was last year. No, that was the year before, maybe. No, that was the year before.
Yeah.
We listen to books together. What have we listened to lately? We're listening to Astrophysics.
Tokyo Ghoul.
We're listening to... But we're only like an hour into 4 hours of Astrophysics for people in a hurry. So.
Anyway, let's go back to Thunderhead for me. I guess I would want to be in that world. If I bring that world here, then...
Then we don't have to deal with the political leaders.
Maybe bring... Yeah, well, that's why I was like, this is a politically charged question, because I would prefer that world to be brought into here. Because then a lot of the...
Do you want to read these questions?
A lot of the really dumb things that I have to deal with and talk to people about would be solved.
That'd be boring. Do you want to read these questions or you want me to read them?
It would be better.